Hello guys and welcome to Engineering Key Tutorials. So today's video we're talking about conic sections. Let's start with circle. So the standard form of circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, which is h and k is the centroid coordinates and r is the radius of circle. Then we have ellipse. As you can see, the standard form of ellipse equation is equal to x minus h squared divided by a squared plus y minus k squared divided by b squared equals 1, which is also h and k is the centroid coordinates of the ellipse. And the only difference between the circle and the ellipse that the ellipse has different value of the side, a in the major axis and b in minor axis. Also, if we want to distinguish the difference between a and b in the ellipse equation, the only difference between a and b, that's a always bigger than b, whatever a corresponding to x-axis or y-axis. So if x-axis correspond to bigger denominator, so the major axis is x-axis, and if y-axis correspond to bigger denominator, so the major axis is y-axis. Okay guys, so also if asking you about vertices of ellipse, it will be major vertices or minor vertices. Okay, corresponding to this case, we have x-axis is major axis, so the major vertices equals to a plus or minus h, which is h is x coordinates of centroid, and k. If opposite case, it will be h and a plus or minus k. Also, you can find these graphs in FE reference handbook in page 43 and 44. Also, if you have to find focus or foci for ellipse, you have two methods. The first method, according to FE reference handbook, you have to find eccentricity at the first. Also, you will find the equation of eccentricity in reference handbook. So the focus equals to plus or minus a multiplied by e and 0. This case, if the centroid with origin point, or equals to h plus or minus a multiplied by e and k. There is other method can save your time. So instead of find the eccentricity and multiply the eccentricity by a or p, you have to find c squared equals to a squared minus b squared. So in this equation, it's minus or negative. It's minus because the distance from centroid to focus point less than the distance from the centroid to the vertices. Then the focus is h plus or minus c and k, or in case the centroid at the origin point, it's equals to plus or minus c and k, which is c is the distance from the centroid to the focus or foci point. Then we have hyperbola standard form equation. It's x minus h squared divided by a squared minus y minus k squared divided by b squared equals 1, which is also h and k, the centroid of the hyperbola. But in this case, the difference between ellipse equation and hyperbola equation that we have negative sign. If x squared is positive, the hyperbola is in x-axis. If y squared is the positive, so the hyperbola will be in y-axis. Okay, it's also same as ellipse. You can find foci with eccentricity equation or using c squared equals a squared, but in this case c squared equals a squared plus b squared because the distance from centroid of the hyperbola to the focus point is bigger than the distance from centroid to the vertices. Also, maybe asking you to find asymptotes equation. It's consider you have a centroid point h and k, and you have to find the slope of asymptotes. It's plus or minus b divided by a. If hyperbola about y-axis, the slope it's plus or minus a divided by p. Then you have substitute in line equation. So asymptotes equation is y minus k equals plus or minus p divided by a multiplied by x minus h. Finally, we have parabola equation. The standard form of the parabola equation is to y minus k squared equals to b multiplied by x minus h. This equation according to FE reference handbook. So in this case, which is point h and k is vertices point, and focus point is p divided by 2 and 0. In this case, the vertices point at the origin point. Also, you can consider the parabola equation equals to y minus k squared equals 4p multiplied by x minus h. You consider in this case 4p, but in this case the foci is equal to p and 0 if the vertices at the origin point, or equals to p plus h and k if the vertices is not in origin point. So I will tell you some notes about parabola to not be confused. There are 4 forms for parabola equation. Is y squared equals x. So in this case, the direction of parabola same as the given graph. If negative y squared equals x, the parabola will be in the negative x axis. If x squared equals y, so the parabola in the direction positive y axis. And finally, if the negative x squared equals y, so the parabola in the direction of negative y axis. So guys, in the next videos we will give you more problems about conic sections and we will solve it. Thanks guys for watching. Goodbye.